much stuff floating around. I don't know. People trying to say they wasn't together.
Basically was trying to get into a threesome. What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to another experience known as K and Manny. I'm the one they call Manny. She is the lady of all K's. And we have a special guest in the building.
Yes, we do have a special guest in the building. And I like to call him Terry Pickenings from Genesis Radio, because Terry always picking at something. He poked it. He poked me, and I was like, "Oh no, we have to have this discussion on the show. You can't be saying this, Terry." So I said, "No, let us invite him on the platform so we can have this conversation." Welcome, Terry. How you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing great. Like I said before, it's a beautiful day to be alive, and I'm ready to bump my gums with you. So if you're ready to rumble, let's do it.
I'm ready to rumble. So
Right.
I'm talking about good evening. You got the nice sun on your face. Where you at when you got sun on your face?
Hey, I'm riding on the highway right now.
Oh, okay.
That ain't nothing but the sun glare. That's all right. It'll be gone in a minute.
Okay. So tonight's show is called Lens. Now, I know you're probably saying, Lady K, Lens, what's that all about? Because tonight we're going to be speaking about things from the male perspective, how they see things in their eyes when it comes to us, lady. Now, like I told you a little bit, Terry, he put a post on his Facebook one day, and it kind of provoked me. And I said, wait a minute, before I, act out of character and stuff like that, I said, let me ask him what he mean by that. And then he elaborated for me. So when he gave me that, I was listening and I actually endured it. And I said, okay, I understand what he's saying. And I think a lot of times we heard that expression that women are from Venus and men are from Mars. It's like we saying the same thing, but we're saying it in different ways. And I believe we have to come to an understanding, because that's how you have effective communication. And again, I think a lot of us assume instead of asking questions. So tonight we're going to be talking with the gentleman, just asking them from their perspective and their eyes, how they perceive us. Manny?
Yeah, and I remember that conversation you and I had, and you was ready to cuss him out, but you had to pump your brakes for a little bit. But it is all the way good. But basically, the post that Kay is basically talking about is that Terry posted a picture of a woman of non-African descent who said that, her hair and makeup look natural. And we just kind of want to talk a little bit more about that, not only that topic, but also your post. But we're just going to kind of slow walk this a little bit. So when you make the perceived comment about how hair and makeup look natural, what did you kind of mean by that statement?
Basically, what I meant by that statement is, first of all, the model that I posted was actually an Indian woman. Posted that picture because I seen her picture before makeup and hair, and I saw her picture after makeup and hair. And I looked at her and I said, gee, she looks normal, because what I see in most cases, even with models of the African American descent, everything they do is times 10. You know what I mean? So like when they put on their makeup, they put too much makeup. Mm-hmm. They put eyelashes on that's 3 inches long, and they put so much hair on that it clearly looks fake. It doesn't look natural. Okay. And then on top of that, the way they dress and they think they're looking sexy is a difference between looking sexy and looking slutty. So all I was just using that as an example because men tell women what they like. The problem is women just don't listen, So what I decided to do was I said, I'm going to start some mess. I'm going to start a little controversy. I'm going to put a woman up here and I'm going to say how good she looks after hair and makeup and how sexy she looks after hearing makeup because I knew that somebody like Kalima would see it, and she would get it would rub her the wrong way, and she would start a dialogue. But long before she did, so many women jumped on that post and was ready to fight. You know, first and foremost because they thought that, you know, I was saying that, you know, my preference of women are women that are not of the African descent, which they're all of the African descent. Indian women are black women too, you know. But her fair skinness, I guess, annoys some of the women. But I wasn't talking about the woman herself. I was talking about the way her makeup was put together, the way her hair, which was also a weave. It's also a weave. It wasn't her hair. It was also a weave to make it a little longer. And they put it together and it looked natural. Why can't our sisters do the same thing?
Okay.
That's all I was trying to say.
So let me piggyback. I just want to piggyback real quick, Manny. Terry, I can definitely agree with you in some stances because I do see some women when they get their lashes done. Even myself, I hate it. I hate when it's like 4 inches long and it's mad thick. It's like, oh, who told you that was cute? That's not cute, and I'm gonna need you to stop. Like, so it does irritate me at times when I see that. So I can understand what you, Terry, is saying that this is not that you can't enhance yourself because for one, I'm understanding. You know, you like when we enhance ourselves, but it's how we do it. Am I hearing that correct?
Absolutely. You know, unfortunately, one thing about ghetto folk, they're going to find a way to shine, you know, and I hate to put it that way. And guess what? Why do we do everything times 10? Okay. You know, we just can't do a little bit. We got to outdo everybody. You know, you got to, they wear the weave. So it's so long and unnatural looking that as soon as you look at it, you know it's a weave. You know, please let us fool us sometime. Trick me, let me say, wow, I didn't know that was a weave. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take the eyebrows back a little bit and wipe your face. Take off some foundation. Because, you know, I used to work in the undertaker business many years ago. So I know about all that different foundation on your face. And it really don't look good when they got it all caked on. Right. And then they're all dressed up with nowhere to go. Where you going? I'm going to Walmart. For what? Oh, okay, where you going after Walmart? I'm going back home. Well, why are you all dressed up like that? You know, and then the other thing that's so unattractive, and one of your girlfriends, she posts pictures every day. And I said, one of your girlfriends. So, you know, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. She posts these pictures that I call jailhouse pictures.
What?
Damn.
Jailhouse pictures. You know, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Because, you know what?
Wow.
She's showing cleavage, camel toe, and everything else. And it's not sexy. It's smutty. Because, you know what? You're selling sex. And if it ain't nothing for sale, take the sign out the window. Because men don't like that. You know, everybody want to go to bed with a porn star, but nobody want to marry one. So she want to know why she's still on Facebook, half naked for the last 3 years. Still fishing for likes. And ain't nobody liking it because they see it and they like, nah, I'm going to pass on that. I don't want that.
Okay. Well, we're going to get to that in just a moment. But I wanted to kind of back up a little bit. Now, you said that when we do things, it's times 10. When you refer to we, are you referring to black women or women in general?
I'm referring to women of color. Black women, especially African-American women. You know, Caribbean women. You know, but I get on the men too. I talk about the brothers too because I'm just trying to make a point because people respond by what they see in most cases. No matter how you talk about it, people listen to respond. So that's why I posted those images. And if Kalima was seeing, you know, all week long, all I was doing preparing for this show was posting pictures of women of different nationalities, including black women, who hair and makeup was outstanding. It was all fake hair, makeup, and I had some women with short haircuts like Kalima got. I posted them too. And it looked good. I'm trying to put out an example to all these women who think that that clown show that they're wearing is attractive. No, it's not. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
When you see them women with them weaves that you know ain't real, 3-inch eyelashes, too much makeup, you know, and then they're patting the top of their head, walking down the street. You know how to do that? Pat on the head.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? You find that attractive? You want to talk to her?
For me, I'll be honest with you. For me, I don't find it attractive because that's not my preference. Now, I will say this, and I'm not going to point nobody out necessarily. When someone does do that, I mean, yeah, I may pass them along, but they could just have a moment or off day. Now, I'm not saying they will have it, that's how they are and how they generalize themselves every day, all day. But let's be honest with ourselves. There are some preferences that some people may like and some people may not like. Like, for instance, some men like bigger women. Some men like thicker women. Some men like skinny women. That's a preference of theirs. Now, I will say this to answer your question. Do I want someone like you just described? Absolutely not. However, I understand that most women will have an issue with not only how they're portrayed, but also like when you post a picture like that and they say, this is what a natural woman looks like, it almost seems like a personal attack. Now, kind of revert back to what you're saying, you wanted to start some mess. I understand that controversy, it kicks up a conversation that most people sometimes feel uncomfortable with. But when you made that post, there's two questions I wanted to ask. One, you chose that pic for what reason? And two, was your post like an intentional jab of women of color saying this is what a natural woman looks like? And actually, let me post a third question. What qualifies something natural as quote unquote natural beauty and sexy?
Well, what I want to say is this.
Okay.
In life, you only get one opportunity to make a first impression, right?
Correct.
So you should think about that, men as well, when you walk out that door. Look in the mirror. Hopefully you got some friends that'll tell you, hey, bro, like right now, I need to go get a haircut and a shave, right? But first thing my son said to me today was that, we getting haircuts tomorrow? We getting shaves tomorrow? Absolutely, because he know that I'm not looking as well kept as normal. You got to have people around you who care about you to tell you these different things. But I was not taking a jab at women of color because, you know, my woman's black.
Okay.
You know, my mother and my sisters are black. You know what I mean? And I would never take a jab at black women. What I'm trying to do is stimulate conversation for them to take a step back and look at the mirror and look at the situation and see what we like, what men like from a men's perspective, what we think is sexy. Because I chose that particular model, like I said, because, you know, she's a black woman too. She just fair-skinned. But my thought was like, nobody really read the caption at the top of the post, which says she's naturally beautiful and sexy after hair and makeup. Unfortunately, the only thing I didn't do, I just the picture of her before makeup, hair and makeup. But Sharice posted her picture before hair and makeup in the thread. About 3 comments down, there was a picture without hair and makeup, you know. But it's not a jab at women of color at all. You know, I just want to start this conversation because I think they need to hear from a male's perspective what we think is attractive. You know, you don't have to do it times 10. Enhance just a little bit. Instead of doing 3 inches eyelashes, maybe do a half an inch. You know, because that will look more realistic. You know, that's all I'm saying. Let's get the conversation going. If you're gonna get a weave, I know you're paying for the weave. Make it natural, because guess what? Everybody hair texture is different, right?
Correct.
There's no need for you to have hair going down to your behind. when you know your hair don't grow like that. It doesn't look natural. You know, one thing we did in the Undertaker business was we wanted people to look natural, look alive. So we did what we had to do to make them look normal. Well, why is the women walking around today looking like that? It doesn't look good. It's not attractive. The only guys who like that is these young boys who wear their pants sag, because they have taken entertainment and made it their everyday life. You know, all that eyelashes and over sexualization of themselves, and you know, all that came out of the strip club. So they took the stripper, who was an entertainer, and made that their everyday look. And somewhere it got crossed. The lines got crossed, you know, because the boys is walking around with their pants sagging. God knows where they got that from, but they call themselves hot boys, and they from the trap house and all that other stuff. Whatever they talk about, they're attracted to that mess. But a man who has his stuff together, he can't take her to the company picnic looking like that. He's going to be embarrassed. Where you taking her looking like that? Because you only get one opportunity to make a first impression. And you know what? If you're trying to be successful in business, most of these deals are cut on the golf course, over dinner parties, and stuff like that, where the wives come out. And if the wives, me and you can want to do business together, right? And you and I can have a game plan. But when we come out to this dinner party, the meet and mix with these people that's powerful, who are the deal makers, that woman you bring with you, she has to be able to fit to the wives club. She has to be articulate and look the part, which means that she can't go in there times 10, because you look like a clown. And guess what? At the end of the night, when everybody go home, all the men that's cut the deals won't talk to their wives. You know what the wife gonna say? Oh, well, that's Shaniqua girl. I don't know about her. Did you see those eyebrows? Did you see those eyelashes? You know, like, oh, no, I don't think you should do business with them, because your woman is a representation of you, and you are a representation of her. And if she ain't put together well, that can affect business. So I look at all those things. It's not a shot at black women, but I think black women need to hear this and need to hear that, listen, sis, we love y'all, but I want y'all to know that you can do better. You don't have to be times 10 on everything that you do.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, Manny. Before you speak, because y'all said a lot in the mix, I definitely have to chime in as a lady and, and tell from my perspective. So, Terry, as you're describing how a wife should look and be, I absolutely agree with you. But just to backtrack a little bit, because you said something in the beginning, you said there's a difference in how a woman dressed, if she's dressing slutty or she's dressing sexy, right? So a lot of these women, they need another woman to take them by their hand and say, you know what? Yes, I understand you might want to show legs, and there's nothing wrong with showing your legs, but let me show you the proper way how to do it, because, we don't want the wrong attention. But even sometimes too, even though we don't want the wrong attention, it comes. However, it is truly about how that woman really carry herself. So I know sometimes you might not like the lashes, they might outdo it, but I think also with doing something 10 times extra, that comes from a different place. I will go there, but first it's like, I feel like we don't get the protection that we supposed to get. And we're out there trying to fight for ourselves and say, no, this is me, but you're trying to change me. This is who I want to be, but you're telling me I should be idolizing how this European body looks. I should be idolizing her long hair. I should be idolizing this because, you know why? Because the man like it. Let me tell you something. For a woman who has high self-esteem and love herself, she does things for herself. not for the man. I want to say that right there. I'm going to repeat myself. A woman who loves herself, high self-esteem, she's doing it for herself. When she walks out that door, of course, she wants to look good because like Terry said, she represents, but she's actually representing herself first. You want to represent your first because how you look in the public eye is like, oh, that's how you look. You just come outside with a scarf on your head and, you know, a t-shirt and some pajama pants. No, that's girlish. Get your grown woman on. So it is a certain way that you do need to look. You want to look decent. You do want to put good things because you feel good about yourself. So I think sometimes these ladies, you know, we feel good about themselves, but we don't realize, oh, that looks extra, that looks crazy. Now there is a line where you're looking extra and you're looking crazy. And there is that line, this is the look that I like. Just like, for example, I think, Manny, you mentioned something about short hair and long hair. If I got short hair or long hair, it doesn't matter. But as long as my hair looks tight and I look presentable, then that's all that matters because I'm going to represent me first. And then, yes, I'm going to also represent you. But at the same time, it's all about how a woman feel about herself. Now, going a little bit deeper about, you know, where that stemmed from, I'm going to hold that to the end because I know, Manny, you got something to say, but I just had to come in and chime in with a woman perspective, a woman, not a little girl, a woman perspective on how we see things.
Right. And Kalima, you said a lot there. And I'm going to ask this question and then we're going to move on because I don't want to feel like this is a complete person. I mean, you said what you said and everything in that nature, and we appreciate you clarifying your comments. But one thing I wanted to ask you, Terry, is when you say, because you said something just a moment ago where I thought it was completely well said. Do you believe, like when you say that, hey, ladies, we understand that you want to look natural, you want to look sexy, do better, even though you picked the picture you picked, and you said what you said earlier, that sometimes we do things times 10. Do you believe that the message would have been received better by saying, hey, ladies, not, ladies, do you believe that wearing this and this and this, like you mentioned, is perceived natural and sexy? That's where I believe a conversation could be set, because when you say things like that, and I'm not telling you what to write on your post or what you say on your post. I'm saying usually when you say, we as women of, not we, but when women of color do everything times 10, yeah, that's a trigger because just like Lady K said, sometimes they don't feel protected, especially from Black men. But then when I ask this question here, and like I said, we're going to move on, do you feel like if you would have said the message differently or maybe post a different picture or both, you think the message would have been received more, or did you wanted to make that conversation to that degree?
I wanted to make a post that had impact. Had I posted Halle Berry or Diana Ross's daughter picture or Vivica Fox picture, we would not have had this dialogue. I wouldn't be on the show with you today because everybody would have went right past that post. Just as that's just a picture of a celebrity of blah, blah, blah. I had to do something that was going to make people stop and look. And it did exactly what I wanted to do, to create a dialogue and a conversation. So my mission has been accomplished.
Okay. So you did those things to create the attention, also create the conversation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's why I did.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So now we understand the mindset of what you did. So we understand now. Thank you for clarifying. Let's shift gears and move on because I don't want to make this a whole episode about the comments, what your post and everything. We want to make sure that we wanted to bring a few topics, and we want your input as well, as long as myself and Lady K's. Let's talk about the beauty industry and the expectations of it, such as the hair, the makeup, the fingernails, all this other good stuff. Because a lot of times we, as Black men, we naturally see things, and that gets our attention. Let's be honest. We're very simple creatures. But at the end of the day, that comes up, and then sometimes we look at certain women, like women of color, versus our European or women of the Caucasus Mountains that likes to do things on a much more different scale. What do you feel like? What is the expectation in the beauty industry? Expectations of both. What's your take on that?
Well, first, I want to say something.
Okay.
Here in America, we call white folks Caucasians, right? Only in America. Now, the Caucasus Mountains, right? Those people look more like me and you than European people. Those are the Caucasus Mountain. The people from the Caucasus Mountain are people of color. Because in fact, I recall one time that I was overseas, and somebody said, "Why do you call white people Caucasians?" And I said, "Because they're from the Caucasus Mountains. They're Caucasians. That's why they're white." And the man says, "No, that's where I'm from. And Caucasians, I'm a Caucasian. Only in America, y'all call white folks Caucasians." So I just want to drop that little ditty, But I think the hair product, the beauty industry, their main model is European women, white women. That's their main model. So they put images on television and magazines in front of everybody. And this is all they show and say, this is beauty. Slim, fair-skinned, long hair, that's beautiful. And they pump that, so that at some point, if they tell you this is what beauty is, what's going to happen? You're going to fall into the trap and go down the rabbit hole of thinking that this European image that they put in front of you on television everywhere is beauty. And you're going to have to try to change to fit into that box. And you're going to spend all your money to buy that look. And that's the goal of the industry. And unfortunately, in our communities, they hit a home run because we spend billions of dollars a year in hair products.
And I totally agree with you on that, because I remember there was this movie. Have you both of y'all familiar with the movie Hair? Good Hair?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a documentary by Chris Rock, and they basically was talking about not only the hair, the hair industry, but also the perception of both white and black women. Because let's be honest, a lot of times when black women have certain grades of hair or have their hair done a certain way, the perception is different. For example, my mother naturally has long hair because of not only the fact that she's, have Indian in her, and then she's from Louisiana. And on top of that, most women have the afro. And now I'm seeing a lot of my family with dreadlocks. Now, I'll be honest with you on that. Last year, I had dreadlocks. Unfortunately, I cut them, although I want to bring them back. But, a lot of people look at me, it's just like, you need to go more of a business cut. Fine, sure, whatever. But more on that is you get a different level of perception when it's with either the short hair, like Lady K, the long hair, the nappy hair, or the locks. So you feel black women are either idolized or demonized because of their natural beauty. Do you feel that way?
I think black women are the most beautiful thing on God's green earth.
Agreed.
What I believe is they have broken black women down to a level that they have broken their self-esteem when it comes to how they look. That's what I think. And there's nothing wrong with a black woman, no matter what the way her hair is naturally. If it's short, it's short. If it's curly, it's curly. If it's long, it's long. It doesn't matter. In fact, you can buy enhancement to make yourself look different, but you're right. People will put you in a category based upon your physical appearance, and it's the whole package. So, they had that thing where they said that, in some corporate settings, they didn't want you to have dreadlocks, and they gave a reason why, But guess what? If you look close at the bohemian and these liberal white folks, right?
Okay.
How many of you did you see at these Black Lives Matter marches? They were white people with dreadlocks. They want to dread their hair up because we are the trendsetters. We just don't have the money to finance.
We are.
We're the
You're absolutely right about that. But let me ask this question.
Wait, can I say something, Manny, before you go on? Because I've been nice. I've been sitting here quietly just listening to you gentlemen, but I was going to piggyback and say, even though they portray the European look upon us, anytime we do something new, they emulate us. And I even thought about this too deeper, right? They talk about our skin, right? They talk about, your skin, yada, 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 right? But then I also thought about this. I said, if you hate us so much, why do you have tanning salons?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then I'm going to speak for myself. When people see me of different races and they come to me, they say, your skin is beautiful. Where you get it from? Not knowing that my grandmother is Indian Cherokee, not knowing that on my other side that they're from the Caribbean islands, and I'm highlighting that because, the melanin is beautiful, regardless of how we are looked upon. The melanin is beautiful. So I always get people come to me and compliment my skin because they love it, because they want it. They want it. That's the crazy part. So even though they put in the expectation, this is how you should look, but behind closed doors, look, for example, I did this hot topic on my Lady K Chat podcast on Instagram. When Justin Bieber put the locks in his hair, when Adele put the locks in her hair, and other people, I was like, well, is this too much? Of culture appreciation, do it belongs to us? And I believe it was Gabrielle Union. And she said, you know what? This is who I am. And I'm not going to change. And you gentlemen said, he was like, whether I wear my hair straight, curly, nappy, and I appreciate Chris Rock doing that documentary. My hair does not define me. In the great words of India Ari, I am not my hair.
Lady K.